keep it going here. Yesterday, Joe Genord picked up his 60th RBI as an Amsterdam Mohawk, which is good enough for 4th all-time in Mohawks history. The leader all-time is Ed Charlton. He has 63, so you would expect as that curveball misses high and it's 1-0 here to Genord, you would expect that that would mean that the first baseman out of South Florida will get that record by the end of the season, but still does have to happen, fingers crossed. As that one is swung on and missed, and evens count at 1-1. As we don't have a necessarily large crowd here at Shuttleworth, there are a good amount of people, but as that one is cut on and missed by Joe Genord, and it is 1-2. But the heat has probably scared away a good amount of people. And also Parkfest is always a big thing here in Amsterdam, and some people don't enjoy the big crowds and all the hullabaloo. So I can completely understand not choosing today to maybe make your trip to Shuttleworth, but I would definitely suggest doing it if you haven't already this season, as that one is cut and missed by Genord. The throw down to first by Horndorf gets him for the third out. And that gives Jankowski, barring his almost injury, a 1-2-3 inning as he is limping off of the field. He's getting high fives from his teammates, but we will head to the second inning here at Shuttleworth Park. The Amsterdam Mohawks and Oneonta Outlaws are still scoreless. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Nick Denicola out of West Virginia will lead it off here in the top of the second for the Outlaws. Zane Stevens had a 1-2-3 inning to start off the game here in the top of the first, striking out 2 batters. As a try for a bunt by Denicola is pulled back and is called a ball, 1-0. We have an eerily quiet crowd here at Shuttleworth, probably just because of the heat. Everyone's just trying to relax in the shade here, as that one is taken on the outside corner for a called strike. Evens count at 1-1. Your defensive lineup for the Mohawks today, from left to right, the third baseman is Cole Barr, shortstop Elvis Peralta Jr. That one is punched into shallow right field for a base hit, as that'll be the first hit of the game here. A single by Denicola will bring up Noah Cabrera out of Towson. The third baseman from Towson, number 13, Noah. And we'll have a little bit of a pitching conference on the mound between Matt Padre and Zane Stevens. We've mentioned before there have been several guys behind the plate for the Mohawks this year. Matt Padre, Sam Prater, who currently is not with the team. Joe Genord started Friday behind the plate, and Shane Muntz has gotten time behind there as well. So 4 different guys. And that can sometimes be a little difficult for a pitching staff, but the Mohawks are still statistically the best pitching staff in the league. They have a 3.05 ERA, which is good for first in the league, as that one will be a single to left center, cut off by the left fielder Hammond, sent in quickly to Richie Nitza at second, but scampering back safely will be DeNicola, and Oneonta is in business with runners on first and second and nobody out. That'll bring up Logan Thomason, the designated hitter out of Eastern Kentucky University. And the first pitch from Zane Stevens is a curveball on the inside corner for a called strike, going 1. Thomason on the year for the Outlaws is hitting .500. He's 8 for 16. As that one is kind of missed. And it will be 0-2 here to Thomason. So he joined a little bit late here. He's 2 runs scored. He already has 2 doubles and 2 RBI. He struck out 3 times as well. Checking the runner at second. The 0-2 from Stevens is cut on and missed by Thompson, and he will be down with the first out of the inning. And that will bring up the first baseman, Anthony Eaton, out of Brockport University, or SUNY Brockport, as many call it. As that one will be grounded foul down the left field line, 0-1. Eaton, his numbers so far is he hit a bomb in a game here at Shuttleworth Park earlier in the season. He's hitting .310, 18 for 58, 8 runs scored, 3 doubles, 1 home run. It was here. And he also has 12 RBIs and 12 strikeouts. That one is ripped into left, and it will drop in for a base hit. Hammond swinging and throwing home as it will be cut off by Barr. Everyone moves up a base, and the bases will be loaded here for the 8-hitter Kyle Rudicelli out of Washington Lee University. Rudicelli, the lefty, steps in against Stevens. Has the advantage off the bat, of course, being a left-handed hitter against a right-handed pitcher. As now in the second inning, Stevens has run into trouble, leaving a lot of balls up that have been just smacked back into the outfield. As that one is high for a ball, 1-0. Rudicelli so far on the year is batting .262 for the Outlaws, 17 for 65, as that one is high ball, and it will be 2-0. Rudicelli does have 10 runs scored and 5 RBIs. And the 2-0 is on the outside corner for a called strike, 2-1. Zane Stevens on the mound, he's very skinny. He's is listed at 5'11", 165. So he's pretty much skin and bones, but he has an arm snapping motion that, as that curveball is in there for a swinging strike, and it evens count at 2-2. His motion is kind of violent, and that's where he really generates all his power, just his arm snapping down. As that one is in the dirt. And it's 3-2. Bases loaded here. 1 out in the top of the second. Still scoreless here. Park. The 3-2 is flown out to left. On the run is Jake Hammond. Will he get there? He will not. It will be off the wall. Fair ball. That one is thrown into home, and they have a runner dead to rights, and he will be out. The first run, however, will score. So it is 1-0 Oneonta, but now there are 2 outs with runners on second and third. An RBI double by Kyle Rudicelli will give the Outlaws a 1-0 lead. Thrown out at home was Cabrera out of Towson. Tried it there, and Hammond from the start was going to throw home, and he has a nice arm that he's shown off already in this game. So I was a little surprised on the send, as the first pitch into Hayden is a high and inside fastball for a ball, 1-0. Kenny Hayden, the center fielder out of Albany, so far is hitting 195 for the Outlaws, as that one is swung and a miss. And it's 1-1. 8 for 41. He has 5 runs scored. He's walked 5 times, and he struck out 14 times at the dish. The Outlaws overall strike out a lot as a team. They've struck out 173 times. As that one will be ground down to third, taking on the short hop, Cole Barr, and that one will be whiffed by Joe Genord, and that will score 2 on the E5 there. As you have to give that error to the runner, but you'd probably think that Joe Genord should have scooped that one. Seemed like a long enough bounce on the throw, but not a whole lot of pepper on it as it got past Genord, and the Outlaws now take a 3-0 lead. And the first pitch into Derek Orndorff is a ball, 1-0. So that scored, as we just make sure that we have this correct, that scored Eaton and Rudisilli, as that one is in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. On the E5 by Cole Barr. And that one is low and inside, and it's 2-1 now from Stevens, who I'm sure is now quite frustrated not being able to get out of the inning. You've now given up 3 runs here in the second. Check the runner at second, who has a nice lead. That one is flown into right field. Coming in at first was Ludwig, but now going out, and he will make the catch for the third out. But not before the Oneonta Outlaws plate 3 to take a 3-0 lead over the Amsterdam Mohawks. In that inning, they scored 3 runs on 4 hits. They left one man on, and there was 1 error by Cole Barr. As we will head to the bottom of the second here at Shuttleworth Park. The Outlaws 3, the Mohawks nothing. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Matt Padre will lead off the bottom of the second here for the Amsterdam Mohawks, so we're down 3-0, excuse me. As that ball misses low and away, it's 1-0. And that pitch also misses low and away. It's 2-0 here from Dan Jankowski, who is back out there after being cleated on a play at first base last inning. He limped to the dugout afterwards, but it seems like he's all right now. As that one misses inside, and it's now 3-0 from Jankowski, who is kind of laboring on the mound. I'm not sure if he's exactly hurt. He may just be a little taken aback by the heat, as that one misses low, and now on with a 4-pitch walk will be Matt Padre. And that'll bring up Cole Barr. And Cole Barr has gone full switch on us. His walk-up song is now Boys Around Here by Blake Shelton. It used to be Hypnotized by Biggie Smalls. He is showing his range here musically, as all of the players do get to pick their own walk-up songs. That curveball is in there for a strike 0-1. As that one is low for a ball, and it is now 1-1. Barr so far on the year for the Mohawks is hitting .282, 11 for 39, 9 runs scored. His double and a triple, no home runs before RBIs, and 6 walks. Made an error last inning on a throw that probably was a little bit bad luck on his part, because the throw probably could have been picked up at first by Joe Janor, but he just ended up missing it, and the error has to go on the infielder if the ball doesn't make contact with the first baseman, as that one is in there for a strike, and it is now 1-2. But I'm sure Cole would love to make up for that right now with a hit to keep it going here for the Mohawks in the second. The 1-2 from Jankowski is low for a ball, evens count at 2-2. The temperature is luckily dropping. I believe it was 97 at first pitch. I'll see what the temperature is right now. It says 95 on my weather gauge. As Jankowski sets from the stretch, deals, as that one is fouled on the left field line. Keeps at 2-2. As Jankowski resets and hops back on the mound. Barr crowding the plate, which is usually his shtick at the mound. Going is the runner Padres. That one is in the dirt, and he will be there with the stolen base as he was going on the pitch. That for Padre is his, as I look here, I think that's his first stolen base. It is, as he has no caught stealings either, so that's his first stolen base, and he's successful 100%. And now it's 3-2 here to Cole Barr. Now Jankowski will get a new ball. There's something past Matt Padre at second. I'm not sure what it is. And the 3-2 to Barr is ripped into center field, and that will drop in for a base hit. Having to pause is Matt Padre, and being held up at third is the catcher. So the Mohawks will have runners on first and third here with nobody out, and Shane Muntz trotting to the plate. Shane Muntz actually got the win on the mound last night in Oneonta. He threw 2.2 innings, gave up 1 run after coming in for the starter, Brendan McNerney. So that gives him on the mound, Muntz, is now 2-0. His ERA is a little messed up as that one is in there for a called strike 0-1 due to the fact that Oneonta put him in as an incorrect player. But those stats should be fixed by the end of tonight. And now we have Shane Muntz at the plate hitting 273, for the Mohawks right now. That one is in there for a called strike, and it's quickly 0-2 to the Wake Forest Demon Deacon. Muntz is 6 for 22 with 3 runs scored. He's hit a double, 2 home runs, and 2 RBIs. And he's walked 4 times as well. Short lead for Padre. Going on the pitch is Cole Barr. Ball was in the dirt, but Joe Genor will be down with a strikeout for the first out. Moving over on the stolen base is Barr. Looked like they tried to put the hit and run on, but Muntz is down for the first out. That brings up Jake Hammond out of Moorhead State, who was busy last inning in left field. First pitch in from Yankowski is inside for a ball, 1-0. Jake Hammond is hitting only 171 for the Mohawks so far, 7 for 41. So that pitch is in there for a called strike, and it is 1-1 now to the left fielder. However, 3 of those hits for Hammond are doubles. So he's gotten some big hits here for the Mohawks, but has not always been able to get on base. As that one will be dribbled, slipping off the mound is Yankowski, and no one will have a play. It was fielded by the first baseman as Matt Padre will come home. So that one will have to be scored, just a big infield single. As Yankowski slipped on the mound, I'm sure he's not happy about that, but I don't know if that was necessarily any fault of the mound or anything. I think it was just he got his foot caught probably right on the rubber. And even if he were to get to that ball, a run probably would have still at least scored. But now that has Hammond safe at first with an infield single, and Richie Neitz at the plate here with the runners still on first and third and 1 out. Mohawks now down just 3-1. As Yankowski steps off, wants a new baseball now. As he's dirty, bloodied. He's had a rough day so far at the I guess on the rubber for the Outlaws. But he does have a 3-1 lead right now and 1 out. They'll have a chance for a double play, but Hammond will probably be on the move soon enough. That one sits high, and it's 1-0 here to Nitsa. Hammond's stolen base stats so far in the year. He has 1 stolen base and 1 caught stealing, so he's 1 for 2 officially. Yankowski from the stretch. Pitches to Nitsa. Nitsa rips that one right to the shortstop, who tries to snag the short hop, and he will have no play. Getting into second safely is Hammond, as Colbar scores, and the Mohawks are now only down 3-2. As I would probably, I would rule that an infield single, as that was a hard shot to the shortstop. Minter tried to play that on the short hop, trying to maybe snag it quick and get that double play, but he wasn't able to. And now the Mohawks are only down 3-2 with Elvis Peralta coming to the plate, and he now has my favorite walk-up song, as it is off of Drake's new album. He's a big Drake fan, for anyone wondering. First pitch into Peralta will be smacked into left, and that will fall in for a base hit. Running was Jake Hammond, so he wasn't sure if he would have to go back, but now he trots in, and the Mohawks are tied now 3-3 on an RBI single by Elvis Peralta Jr. So 3 straight RBI singles, and the Mohawks have knotted it here at 3 at Shuttleworth Park. and they look to keep the line going here with Mike Antico, the leadoff hitter from St. John's. Mike Antico today is also the Recovery Sports hitman, so he is excuse me, as if he gets a hit, as going on that pitch is Elvis Peralta Jr., no throw from Orndorff. The pitch was a strike, so it's 0-1 here to Mike Antico. Runners on second and third, 1 out for the Mohawks. They are now tied 3-3 with the Oneonta Outlaws, as that one misses high, and it's 1-0, as that was a stolen base for Elvis Peralta Jr. You can't really have defensive indifference when the score is tied. As now there is a base open. Antico has hit very well as of late, comes into this at bat hitting .316, as that one is swung on and missed by Antico. It's now 0-2. That stolen base for Peralta Jr., let me make sure I have the correct stat. That's his 7th stolen base of the year. That leads the team. And the 0-2 into Antico is ripped into right for a base hit. That will fall in. Scoring is Nitsa, and coming in to also score is Elvis Peralta Jr. Going down to second is Antico, and the Mohawks are up 5-3. Peralta took a huge turn at third. I thought he would be gunned out, but it was cut off by the first baseman, it looked like, and he had to quickly turn around and throw a little dart into the catcher, Orndorff, and he just didn't get the tag on in time, as Peralta slid around it, and the Mohawks have matched the 3-run inning of the Outlaws with a 5-run inning of their own in the bottom of the second, as that will bring up Michael Ludwig. And the first pitch into Ludwig is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Antico is now at second, and there's still only 1 out in the inning. This is the Mohawks' 8th batter to come up in the bottom of the second as well. As Jankowski is now, as now it looks like we have a warning from the the umpire at second base, who you would probably call the infield umpire because he moves around. He gave a warning to the Mohawks dugout, who I think were chirping about something. Of course, you always have people yelling and everything. Antico is going on that pitch. Throwing from his knees is the catcher, Orndorff, and Antico is in there with a stolen base. That is officially his 4th of the year, but we think that is incorrect, and that should be higher. But officially, he's 4 for 5 on the year on steals. And now Jankowski steps back up. Runner on third now for the Mohawks, 1 out. Ludwig takes that one for a ball, and it's now 2-2. That throw from Orndorff was pretty good from behind the plate, just didn't get there in time to beat Antico. As that one will be in there for a called strike, and we had it at 2-2, so that makes it probably now 2-2. So now 2-2 to Michael Ludwig. We currently don't have our scoreboard working, so we're just trying to make sure that we have it correct for our game live, as that one is fouled, pulled down the right field line by Michael Ludwig off of the brick facing. You mentioned Mike coming into today. He's hitting .328 for the Mohawks, 19 for 58 with 8 runs scored. He has 13 RBIs, which is good enough for second on the team. He's also walked 10 times, so his on-base percentage is very good here in the PGCBL, as that one will be slapped to second, and it bounces over the head of the second baseman, Young, and into second is Michael Ludwig, as that'll be an E4. Scoring on the run on the hit is Mike Antico. And now the Mohawks still have a runner in scoring position with 1 out, and they bring up their 9th batter of the inning in Joe Genord. Genord so far today is 0 for 1. He struck out in the first. As he is now one of only 2 Mohawks not to get on base after this inning. The other one is Shane Muntz, who struck out earlier in the inning for the first out. As stepping off is Yankowski. And it is now 6-3 Mohawks. And it looks like the Oneonta Outlaws are just now getting a guy warmed up. It looks like he's ready to come into the game if need be, as that one was in the dirt for a ball to start off Joe Genord 1-0. Mentioned earlier, Joe Genord got his 15th RBI of the season last night, gives him 60 in his career for the Mohawks. He only needs 4 more to have the outright Mohawks lead all time for RBIs. As that one will be slapped down the left field line and will drop for a base hit and will careen off the wall. Scoring is Michael Ludwig, and into second will be Joe Genord, but he will be tagged out on the slide, so that'll be the second out. So that'll be a single, and Joe Genord is out on the 7-4 putout for the second out, but that will bring up Matt Padre for the second time this inning. And that's not before Joe Genord picks up his 61st RBI. As that first pitch into Matt Padre misses for a ball, it's 1-0. So that puts Joe Genord just 2 behind the all-time Mohawks leader, Ed Charlton, for first for RBIs. As that one is in there for a called strike, and it's now 1-1 here to Padre. And the 1-1 is fouled off back to the backstop. And Yankowski is ahead 1-2. As that one is in the dirt, and it now evens count at 2-2 here to Padre. And the 2-2 from Yankowski is grounded down to third, fielded by the third baseman Cabrera on to first for the third out of the inning, but not before the Mohawks bat around, sending 10 to the plate and score 7 runs on 6 hits and 1 walk. They left nobody on base, and there was 1 error by the Outlaws in the inning. As we will head to now the top of the third inning with the Mohawks up 7-3. As you are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live.